Notorious. My friend, they call me Artorius. Hello, hello, welcome. That was dreadful. I always laugh at the fact that you're, I always thought that was his face, but if you look, our face is kind of poking open the way. Hello! Anyway, hello, welcome back, everybody. My name is Kavalech, and let's grab ourselves a deadly chat. Yes, indeed, welcome back once again to In-Depth Dark Souls. And today we have some very important stuff to do. If you joined us last time, you know that we have defeated the... where am I going? Chamber of the Princess. We defeated the Black Dragon Calamite. And we also... I also unfortunately had to put down a dear pup, a dear friend. But here we are. So today, as I stated, we have something very important to do. So that is why we are coming here to Anarlondo. And actually, while we were in Firelink, I probably should have used this Lord Soul, this Firekeeper Soul. But we'll fly back before we go in. Make sure it's not the right one. Yeah, this is the one from Anarlondo, so we can do that. Just so we can have a little bit of extra healing. Why not? Yes, in case you didn't know, I mean, how you couldn't know, I don't know at this stage, but in case you didn't know, we of course need the rest of Artorias' set. And this is going to work in two ways. One, it's going to work because it's just going to look badass, because Artorias' set looks fucking badass, but also because if you know the lore of this game, then you know what the tale of Artorias is and what the actual tale of Artorias ends up. So we're helping a bro out, good old Artorias. Now, a couple of things. So we have, for some reason, they decided to make it that there are multiple versions of the sword. And when I mean multiple, I mean 3. So using the Soul of Sif, which is what we got yesterday, which is why I wanted to get this, we can make 2 variations of the sword, and then using Artorias' soul itself, we can make another one. Now, we're going to use the Soul of Sif. What am I doing? Oh, that's fucking thingy. That's the wrong thing, that's why. So, you see here there is 2 different greatswords of Artorias using the Soul of Sif. And this is the Abyss Greatsword. That's separate. We'll talk about that in a second. Any sword, I believe any sword, at plus 10 can be made into the Greatsword of Artorias. That's fine. It'll give you this version with physical damage, and it's known as, I suppose, just the... It's like the corrupted version. The pure version of the Greatsword of Artorias is this one, and you have to use a broken straight sword. It's the only one that you can use, a broken straight sword. And I think that's kind of a, I don't know, it's very poetic or something. It's nice. You use a broken straight sword, and as you can see, it does both physical and magic. So this is the true Greatsword of Artorias, which we're going to do that immediately. And then to get the Abyss Greatsword then, which is separate, and we'll read that, you have to do any weapon plus 10. I wasn't a big fan of the Flamberge anyway, so we can just get rid of this. What on earth is the difference between them? Got about soon. Yes, thank you so much, my friend. What on earth is the difference between them? Well, let me show you. So, we have... if I don't go buy them, hopefully, because I am pretty fucking stupid. I won't buy them. Yeah, I am. See, that's how fucking moronic I am. I really should have... there we go. Greatsword of Artorias. Artorias. And then we have... Abyss Greatsword. There we are. So, we'll read this one first, because this was in the base game. This was in the base game anyway, and you will need to make this for the Platinum. This one is only... oh, fuck. This one is only in the DLC, but we'll talk about that in a second. So... the lore, I believe, on either version you made from Sif's soul is the same, so don't worry about that. But yes, so, sword born from the soul of the great grey wolf Sif, guardian of the grave of the Abyss Walker, Knight Artorias. Sir Artorias hunted the Dark Wraiths, and his sword strikes harder against Dark Servants. This is actually a cursed weapon. I I was gonna say because it's quite dark here. Yeah, I'm gonna teleport back to because we can upgrade it ourselves, I believe, anyway. So we don't need him anymore. I'm gonna teleport back to Firelink because I'd like to show you so you can see the details in the sun, darling. Now, so this is the true version, as I say. As far as I remember, it would look similar enough anyway. Oh, I don't think there is maybe a bit of a difference, but that's what it looks like. It's got a standard moveset, which is pretty nice. But the difference is this move. It does like a hold and then a stab and then a hold and a big sweep, which does a really nice damage. This is classed, I believe, as a cursed weapon. So I believe this one, I know definitely this one, but I believe this one you can bring down below into New Londo and fight the ghosts with, which is pretty, I mean, it makes sense, really. That was his whole thing, really. Now, as you can see, the stat spread on this is fucking mental, and this is why I ended up getting some intelligence, faith, and strength and dex and everything. It is a CCBB. You need 24 strength, 18 dex, 20 faith, and 20 intelligence. So, I mean, we are actually only barely able to wield this realistically in terms of all our stats. You can see there it has divine on it as well, 140, which this does not have actually. So I don't know if you can bring the Abyss Greatsword, but you can definitely bring this into New Londo and fight some people, some peeps. And yeah, no, it's split damage between magic and physical, but it's pretty fucking strong. I mean, this is unupgraded and it's already doing pretty decent damage. It's got a nice critical as well. Now, the difference here with the Abyss Greatsword, if we read it, it says this greatsword belonged to Lord... Try again. This greatsword belonged to Lord Gwyn's Knight Artorius, who fell to the abyss. Swallowed by the dark with its master, its sword is tainted by the abyss, and now strength reflects its will to humanity. There is a buff by having a load of humanity. So we have 10 humanity at the moment. We do have a buff to this weapon. That's why it has really good scaling. Like you can see, this scaling is only getting plus 91, and it has a CC BB. Whereas this only has a CC, there's no BB. Now, it still requires 18 magic and faith, by the way. You're not getting away with that. It still has all the stats, but it requires slightly less. But this only does physical damage, and it gets a buff with the more humanity that you have. So it's a bit unusual. It's a weird way to do things. But it's purely physical, so it's, to be honest, it's kind of better. And then obviously the whole thing with this sword is that it's the quote-unquote real version or whatever. But if we have a look at this version, you can see, actually, is it shorter as well? We're pointing at Donald there. We're pointing, no, it's the same length. But you can see this one is a lot more tarnished and it's missing a thing. Now, remember, this is the Sith version. Remember this move? That's the R2. And we can swing out of that and everything. If we do the same with this, so the R1 is still the same. It's actually quite swift. It's not too bad. But the R2... yeah. It's the flip that he does. The one-handed is the same? No, the one-handed is not the same. The one-handed is the spin that he also does. So to be honest, even though, as I said, this one was in the base game, I don't know why they added this in, but they did, and they made it the actual moveset that he uses. I was gonna use the pure one, but I think thematically for what we're doing here, we're wanting to fight Manus with this weapon. I think this is a nice way to do it. Now, the problem is that, but maybe if we stick on our Ring of Fap... No, we still can't. Fuck. Well, do you know what? Fuck it. If we have to mid-roll, we have to mid-roll. Fuck it. Let's get a little bit more, just to see. Just to see. Just to see. Is that enough? No. No. God damn it. I was hoping to mid-roll, but it doesn't really matter. Note that you can hit with the thing. Now, let us upgrade this sword. I believe we should have enough stuff. Demon Titanite. Bam. 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 Ooh, for... We literally have the right amount. Holy shit. I thought we were going to have to travel down to... I'm not going to lie, I really want to be able to mid-roll. No, it doesn't want me to mid-roll, so I'm not overpowering our endurance here, because I don't care that much. It would have been nice. I mean, this is with Havels and the Fat Bring, so clearly they just do not want you to fucking have this in mid-roll and a light roll. You know, I mean, ooh, that is heavy in fairness. Anyway, the last question actually, and actually it's one that I'm not sure of myself, is can you buff this? The answer is no, you cannot buff it. So there you go. No buffing for us, but hopefully we'll be fine. Hopefully. I mean, we are very powerful now, so we should most likely be fine. We have a lot of endurance and everything too. Wow, I really wanted to have enough endurance to be able to light roll, but it doesn't really matter. 240 plus 250, it's quite strong. We're not going to be using this for the rest of the game, by the way. This is purely for the Manus fight. I literally did this just for the Manus fight. That's how fucking ridiculous I am in the head. Ulasil Township, yes, we can get the 20 thing. But, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do think this is possibly my favorite armor in the game. Closely followed by the Black Knight armor and the Silver Knight armor, which I also love. But this armor just looks incredible. I'm sure if Hawkeye Goff could see, because he is blind, he is blind, if he could see, he'd look out now and go, what the fuck? But thematically, and we'll discuss it after we fight Manus here, which hopefully we're going to win in one go. Actually, I should rest at the bonfire so that we have our 20 thingy. Hopefully we're going to win in one go. Cough, cough. Cough, cough. Actually, I'm not going to use Power Within. I'm not going to use Power Within because I think we can do it without it. I think we can do it without it. And I'm pretty fucking OP anyway, so... I know I said this is in-depth Dark Souls, this isn't Challenge Dark Souls, but I don't want it to be a pushover either, you know. I'm not going to lie, part of this is also for me, because when I did my first playthrough on this channel, ever, this series, by the way, in case you didn't know, this was the first ever series I ever did on this channel. The very first videos I did with my shocking audio was Dark Souls 1. And I breezed through the game pretty... No, this is the wrong one. Fuck. Wrong lift. I always do this. I breezed through the game pretty easily. Nah, I say easily. Not that easily, but easy enough. But Manus gave me a fucking run for my money, and it took me a few tries. Mainly because I genuinely don't really fight Manus much, so I don't actually... You know, I'm not actually a big... Manus fighter, you know. I mean, it's decent damage, even one-handed, and obviously thingy now the front flip. Is actually not great because of range, but ooh, 655 though is nice. Yeah, and you fuck off, will ya? What about the spin move? Nice. Okay, cool. That's pretty fucking nice. I'm gonna wait and heal because I'll heal right when we get down to himself. Right when we get down to himself. But yeah, I know it's probably silly, but I was very excited in my mind when I was like, I'm gonna fight Manus as Artorias, and I think that's gonna be fun. Huh! Oh, I always forget you can get green shards off of them. Random little tidbit there if you need some green shards. Oh, God, I love this game so much. So we know you came down here to fight the Abyss, the spread of the Abyss, having faced Dark Wraiths before, knowing what the darkness holds. You know? I was going to equip humanity, but I'm like, no, fucking hell, why would I do that? Because at the end of the day, we have 20 healing. If I can't kill him with 20 heals, I don't deserve to win. God, I'm so excited. But, yeah. came down here, the hero of the land, to face Manus the Abyss, the Father of the Abyss, who we will talk about. Manus is an extremely important character in the lore. But yeah, came down here, gung-ho, probably thinking, I can do this as light work. And unfortunately, could not. Sacrificed his life, laid his shield down, so that dearest Sif could escape. And now, returning once more to right the wrongs of the past. Manus's design, by the way, is fucking terrifying, but also just amazing. They uprooted the grave of primeval man, fooled by a toothy serpent. I'd say the people of Ulasil brought this on themselves. But oh, what do I know? Fucking hell. Oh! So yeah, as you can see, we do not block 100% physical, which is not good, but also is good. Woo! Nice dodge. Heal. Oh! Hold on. Get the fuck back. Heal. Ow! I'm not doing this again. Why is this my just overall fucking thing of... That was an instability hit, by the way, which is why that hurt a lot. Nope. Flip! I did the flip! I did the flip, Mom! Nice. Oh, shit. This is gonna kill me. Oh, no, it won't kill me. It'll fucking hurt, though. Actually, it didn't hurt too bad. Wasn't great, though. When is he gonna... How did you miss? When's he gonna start doing magic? That's the question. Nice. Having a good stability shield, as you can see, is pretty fucking good. Nice. We can block that with the thing. Ow. Come back. Oh, nice. Get in there. So, using the actual thing, this is what he was supposed to do, but he never got to. And now for the true pièce de résistance. I was waiting. Oh, fuck. Fuck, no, don't fuck it up now. I thought I had my fucking healing on, I didn't. Now for the true pièce de résistance. Shit! Don't do it again. Heal. I almost fucked this up. Because we need the true pièce de résistance. Go! Summoning Phantom. Where is he? Good boy, Civ. Oh, good girl, Civ, sorry. Excuse me, wants to play. So, this is what would have been happening. Only, unfortunately, Artorias did not do well. Fuck. Okay, Civ. I'm not gonna lie, I can kind of see why it didn't go well for you, is because you kind of need to do something here. Anything. Civ? There you are. Come on, Civ. You can do it. There it is. Oh, shit. Fuck. Damn it. So annoying when that hits. Okay, well, unfortunately, Sif is actually fucking useless. So I was trying to show off the coolness that you can get Sif in the fight and everything, but realistically, unfortunately, Sif was kind of useless here. And bam! Get the fuck out of here, Manus. I blew through a lot of my shit there, I'm not gonna lie. Wasn't the cleanest fight in the world, but I do feel vindicated. Dusk saved. But Dusk doesn't seem to be doing very well and has no idea what's going on. So yeah, you can see, I mean look, you can summon Sif, you can do a load of things. We could have done that even cleaner. If I wasn't using this shield, I would have been able to fast roll and it would have been even easier than that, but we gotta have them swag points. I'm glad that was the last move we used as well. What a fucking fight though. What a fight, what a game. So Artorias, unfortunately, did not do that. That's what he should have done. All you gotta do is level endurance, my friend. But it seems that, while this is obviously the silver pendant engraved with the crest of Artorias, right, one of the ancient treasures of Anolondo presented to Artorias for facing the abyss. But we know that the reason why, and funny enough, we started the game with a pendant, which is nice too, but the reason why Manus snatched Old Dusk there away was because she had this pendant, or at least was something to do with this pendant anyway, or this pendant was stolen at some point. So it's kind of ambiguous as to what the whole crack with the pendant is, what kind of was going on there, but the thing that everybody does know is that, and if we read the description here, we'll understand a lot more. Man, I'm a bit pissed off at myself. I feel like that could have went a lot cleaner, but it was alright. It was still good. It's still good. It's still good. Sif, however, I love Sif to pieces. Fucking useless. Absolutely fucking useless. But yeah, so what we just got now is this, which will allow us to find out some lore. Soul of Manus, Father of the Abyss. The extraordinary soul is a viscous, lukewarm lump of gentle humanity. Ancient Manus was clearly once human, but he became Father of the Abyss after his humanity went wild, eternally seeking his precious broken pendant. So, confirmed there, as I said, that Manus was seeking this pendant. And potentially that's why he went so fucking ham on Artorias, because Artorias also had a pendant. Maybe he got confused, thought it was his pendant. You know. Perhaps. You can see here now what looks like maybe the grave or the resting point that was for Manus. But it's very much kind of said in the community, but also pretty much confirmed that Manus is... Now, in this series, we've obviously been deep diving into the lore. We didn't technically watch the opening cutscene in this series, but I mean, come on. Everybody has seen the opening cutscene to Dark Souls at this point, and if you're watching an in-depth of Dark Souls, you've probably watched it at this point. And we all know about the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. From pretty much everything we can gather from this game, and definitely in future games like Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3 and stuff, Manus is the furtive pygmy, is the first kind of human, is the first of its kind, and the first obviously to fall to pure abyss and become the monster that he is. But I wouldn't particularly say that Manus is a bad dude. I think a lot of the circumstances around Manus are just because of things like the corruption of the abyss, which is obviously not his fault, and how, you know, manipulation by people like Kath and stuff like that, where they constantly get people to fucking dig him up to fucking fuck with him, basically, to try and, I don't know, gain some of his power or figure something out. Who knows what the fuck Kath is up to at this point. But, that toothy serpent, as they said. But it seems that Manus is definitely the one that causes humanity to go wild, because we've seen humanity in other places and they didn't go wild. So it's only when connected to Manus that humanity seems to go actually wild. But the timeline of events, as I said, we discussed it a bit more. The timeline of events is, for El Dusk, is that Dusk is chilling in Ulasil, is kidnapped by Seath, by a crystal golem, encased in a crystal golem. And some people think, oh, I'm brought to the future. No, she's not brought to the future. She is encased in a golem and left there and remains there for the entire time. This is where it gets a little bit kind of oof, but stick with me. So she remains in the crystal golem until we save her. Keep in mind that Seath has been doing this with lots of different maidens. He's obviously trying to see if he can create, which we'll learn more about when we get to the archives, but he's trying to see if he can create immortality. So he seals Dusk into a crystal golem to see what happens, basically. Just to see what happens if he seals her into a crystal golem. He seals her in there, she remains there. We free her, and she uses her powers, because she is a sorceress, we know that. She has magic powers, she sells them. She uses her powers, or is conjured or whatever, back into the past, so she returns to her own time, to before she was, or as she was, rather, probably, time travel, kidnapped. When she returns, she obviously chats to Elizabeth, tells her, oh, I've been saved by this hero, with a wondrous scent of humanity on them, because people in Ulasil, as we discussed, had elf-like features, so they weren't really human. So we are a lot more human than they would be. And Elizabeth is all happy. At the same time, somebody has messed with Manus and awoken him, and he obviously is starting to go wild and realizes that Dusk has a similar kind of pendant. And so snatches Dusk. And so snatches Dusk and kidnaps her. In the meantime, he's created a kind of a hole to our time, because Seath has taken the pendant, the broken version of the pendant, from Dusk, probably through all of the scuffles or whatever, and has it in one of his other crystal golems in our time. I know, I told you, it's a bit convoluted, but stick with me. It does work out in the end. It does work out timeline-wise. And actually, as far as time travel plots go, it actually cleans up nicely. So Dusk is now back in her time, which is now the past, having been kidnapped by Manus. Manus is skulking out our time with the black hole thing that we end up getting pulled through, because he's trying to find his pendant that has been snatched. So a lot of people think maybe it was Manus who disturbed him. Not Manus, sorry. Maybe it was Seath who disturbed him and caused the fall of Ulasil. Then again, they say that it was they were obviously tricked by that toothy serpent. Now, some people have stated, well, maybe Seath still had a hand in it, and maybe he goaded things along, and potentially, he was kind of in league with everything that was happening there. But we know definitely that he took the pendant. That's why it was in our time, in his archives. Now, Manus then obviously continuing his rampage and spreading the abyss here in Ulasil. He was snatching people from all different timelines, assumedly from the same land. So this land becomes so many different places, because one would assume that hole is in the same spot. So he snatches Chester and God knows who else. At that time, Artorias had been battling Dark Wraiths, because there was Dark Wraiths going on. Now, the Dark Wraiths aren't just to do with the Abyss. They're to do with Kath, remember. So they might be around where Abysses are, but they're not always the Abyss. They are purely to do with kind of Kath and that type of thing. So he was fighting them, heard about the Abyss, and said, oh, I'm going to go there and stop him. Rocked up with his pet wolf, and fought his way through probably all the humanity and everything that was going wild out there, doing pretty well. We actually don't know if he did make it to Manus, but assumedly he got fucked up by Manus. As I said, most likely, in my headcanon, now this to me is just headcanon, so, but it fits, I think, in the storyline. Manus saw that he had a pendant around his neck, presumably thought it was his pendant, and so fought him even more. Artorias wanted to protect Sif, and so they dragged themselves halfway out of the abyss. Artorias slammed his shield down, creating a protective barrier around Sif, and tried to maybe get out more to get help, maybe from Goff, maybe from the other knights of Gwyn, who knows. But before he made it out, completely succumbed, having broken his arm and lost his friend and lost the battle, basically. So he lost his mind to the dark and became the Artorias that we fight, which is a shell of himself, to be honest. A sad tale, but that is not the tale of Artorias. That's what we know as the tale of Artorias, but that is not the tale of Artorias. To get the tale of Artorias, we need to go back to the Sanctuary. Because if you remember, Ingward in the New Londo told us the tale of Artorias, the one who walked the abyss and fought back and won.
I have awaited thee. Thou hast rescued Princess Dusk and rid us of that terrible primeval human, even halting the spread of the abyss. I salute the grandeur of thine enterprise. Please allow me to express my gratitude. I thank thee, as do we all.
Remember again that primeval means of the earliest in history, so the first human.
I will remember thee, but I will keep thy story to myself. This is the best way, for thou art come from a time far ahead. No one will sing thy praises, but yet thy greatness shall live on, for it shall be my purpose to remember all thou hast done for us.
And that is where the tale and the legend of Artorias is born. Now, Artorias is a badass, don't get me wrong, and we've seen, like, he could fuck us up. He could definitely fuck us up. And who knows, maybe in different circumstances, he would have been able to complete his task and beat the Abyss, but unfortunately he didn't. But a bit like in Batman, where he says, "The city needs a symbol," Artorias was the perfect symbol, you know? And by all accounts, from anything we hear of Artorias, everybody loved him. Everybody thought Artorias was great. So Elizabeth and assumedly Goff and stuff like that come up with the idea where they say, right, wibbly wobbly time travel, we can't fuck with time. She already stated this by saying earlier on, if you remember, she says, "Oh, I'd love to ask you so many questions about the future, but I can't because that's not how this works." How are we allowed to come back here to fight Manus? Who knows? That is, you know, something you slightly just, you know, you slightly kind of suspend your disbelief for that one. I particularly think that it's one of those, like I said, it's one of them, it's not really a paradox because we leave everything as if we were never here. We don't exist in this world because Elizabeth and Goff and everything turn around and they say, "Oh, Artorias descended into the abyss, fought Manus, won, and unfortunately perished afterwards. A hero's death. The legend of Artorias is born. He's cemented himself in history. And unfortunately, we don't get the praise, but, I mean, as I say, he's a bro. We love Artorias, so we don't mind. And if it protects the sanctity of, I suppose, time, time, or whatever the fuck you want to say, I think it's cool enough. But that is the, I suppose, the microcosm, the grand strokes. There is other little details here and there, but that is pretty much overall the grand strokes of what this DLC is. And I think it's just incredibly well written. I mean, look, time travel stories are always going to be a bit dodgy. And if you squint too hard, but if you just look at it as for what it is, I think personally it's an absolutely fantastic storyline. And a character that you already have such reverence and respect for, Artorias, before, like in the base game, before this DLC came out, so many people were like, "Oh, Artorias, he sounds like such a fucking badass, such a chap." To not only get to fight him, but to be the reason why his legend is what it is, I think is just incredible storytelling. Incredible storytelling. We are the legend of Artorias, you know? And I love that so much. I love that so fucking much. Now we got some more dialogue. As for Dusk, I mean, we'll see. We'll chat to Dusk now in a moment. Dusk is catatonic when we rescue her, so we'll see what she says when we go and chat to her now in a little bit. But she ain't got a fucking clue. So in her mind, Elizabeth and Goff say, "Oh yeah, it was Artorias who saved you," and Artorias gives off the vibes of a hero because he was indeed a hero. And we, as she kind of said before, we give off such kind, heroic vibes. So Dusk just goes, "Oh, well, it must have been Artorias." You know? She has no, because she never saw us travel in this time. If you remember, She speaks to us in the past, sorry, not the past, in the present, but she never speaks to us here in the past.
Thou comest again, legend of humans.
Legend of
It
humans.
is always an honor to speak with thee.
Me, Kyle Kavalech, legend of humans.
Now, do not mistake my words.
Unfortunately, he doesn't actually have much to say about that, but I think it's an unspoken thing where, you know, he knows, we know, we're the legend of humans in his eyes. But unfortunately, we are going to have to do the unthinkable. I'm going to buy 99 of these just so we have them, because we will need them later. I could use bows, arrows, and I might, but we'll take both just in case. Unfortunately, I got to do the unthinkable.
Farewell, proud human.
And to do this, I know he's blind, but I am going to change outfits because I don't want him thinking that it was... I don't want him thinking it was Artorias. Or Kieran, actually, hold on, for that matter. So we'll switch to a random mishmash of sets. Yeah, that'll do. Just a mishmash sets, really. That'll do. Is this our highest damage weapon? It might actually be. I hate to do this, but unfortunately, because we got to get the dialogue. Normally, I would never dream of doing this, but we got to get that dialogue. So, unfortunately, my friend, our blind friend, has got to come to this.
So this is true human nature. Artorias is in your debt.
Oh, fucking hell!
Choice. May you perish for the good of all.
That fucking drop. Oh my god. Woo! Fucking the people's elbow, apparently. Fucking hell. He has the people's elbow, and then fucking, what's his name? The blacksmith, who, as he said, he is friends with, has a fucking drop kick that is legendary. I feel so fucking bad killing him. Unfortunately, it has to be done. Does not have a dialogue for if you die, I believe. I could be wrong, but anyway. Yep. Humans. Actually, I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty fucking badass look. I really, wow, this is a cool looking fucking armor. Goff, now this is where we get the prepare to cry, as they say, copyright TM Vatty video there, but prepare to cry indeed. But we have Goff set. Actually, we'll start with his armor, and we'll stick it on. Armor of Hawkeye Goff, one of Gwyn's 4 knights. Armor donned by Goff since his days as a dragon slayer. The medallion bequeathed by the Lord himself and the dragon bone pauldrons, symbol of high honors. His gauntlets received his decoration of honor, crafted similar materials to the gauntlets worn by the Silver Knights. And actually, you can see they look. If we find some Silver Knight gauntlets here, yeah, you can see, sort of. You can sort of see it. This is what it looks like. I did not think we'd be able to fucking fast roll with that. That's hilarious. We must be in fucking giant dad territory. Holy shit, we are very overpowered. But the lore that gets me, and the lore that fucking always gets me, is this. Helm of Hawkeye Goff, one of Gwyn's 4 knights, received as a decoration of knightly honor. A helm crafted especially for the honorable Hawkeye Goff. Only the eye holes were packed with tree resin by those who dismissed Goff as a brutish giant. If you take a look very closely, you can see the resin in his eye holes. If he just removed his helmet, would he be able to see? To be honest, yeah. And this is something that Miyazaki especially loves, but all of From Software seems to like. And it's these incredible characters with some type of flaw that makes them, I suppose, do something silly. And to me, it doesn't take away from the character. To me, it's the idea is that Hawkeye Goff was so honorable and thought so highly of the people around him and the people, they gave him the gift of this helmet and everything, that he never in a million years would have thought that they would betray him in any way. But unfortunately, like that pure jealousy and just being horrible bastards, they packed it full of resin as a prank or a joke, and he fell for it and believed himself blind, and so lived his days till the very end, believing he could no longer see. Yeah. And it's funny, way back in, I think, episode 13 or something like that, I can't remember, but way back in one of the early episodes, I made a joke about the giant blacksmith. Which, by the way, I'm saying about him being friends, I'm just thinking about this right now, I'm saying about him being friends with Andre. Probably more likely the giant blacksmith. Hitting away all day with that hammer. Yeah, it's probably more the giant blacksmith, to be honest. I mean, I'd like him to be friends with Andre as well. He probably would be, because he's fucking awesome like that, and everybody loves Goff. Apart from some of the fucking begrudgers around here in Ulasil. Let's be honest. If they did that to Goff, they deserve to die in the abyss. Fuck them. But yeah, fuck, what was I saying now? Yeah, I was talking about him in, I think it was episode 13 or something of this series. And I made the joke that the item description for the crossbow bolt says, oh, he's never seen a crossbow, but, God, this was fucking ages ago, so I can't remember fully. But yeah, he has never seen a crossbow bolt, but he remembers the specifications of all the warriors that come through. But what I didn't realize, and somebody said it, and it reminded me of this situation here with Goff, is that perhaps he just never turned around. So perhaps he just never saw a crossbow, even though there was one behind him that some warrior had probably stuck there someday or something. But he just never saw it. So he never looked around to see it. Now that's a minor one, and that's completely conjecture. And most likely, I don't think the original version had a crossbow there. So most likely that's not the case there. I think that's purely a remake thing. But yeah, I do believe that From Software love to have those characters that have a character flaw like that. That you think, oh, if they just didn't do that one thing, things would have turned out differently for them. You know? Yeah. For instance, Solaire is an incredible character, but unfortunately ends up getting him... Well, we haven't gotten to the end of his questline yet, so we'll try our best to save him. No, we won't talk about that. I'm going the wrong way. I need to go down this way. Because we need to get some more dialogue, my friends. I love that dialogue. You know you do. You know you love it. But yeah, that brings a close to the DLC. There is obviously a lot more to be done in this game still, which I'm so excited about. But I'm glad we got the DLC cleared up anyway with a bang. I really enjoyed this episode. You may look at it and think, it wasn't that great, but I enjoyed it. I potentially could have played a bit better against Manus. I think if I didn't have as much health, it would have been a death. It wouldn't have been a one fucking hit wonder, but oh well. Doesn't really matter. Oh well. That's the way it is. In my mind, it's good because good old Artorias got to have his moment in the sun. And we brought Sif along, even though Sif was actually possibly the most useless fucking summon I've ever seen in my life. I was like, fucking hit him! Hit him! Ooh, that damage, though. We'll have this in our back pocket in case we are struggling. I don't think there's anything else in the game we can struggle with at this point, especially at this level. Manus and Artorias, to me, being the two hardest fights in the game, so... Ooh, a blue Titanite chunk. So, I think we'll be fine. Get the fuck out of here. But, yeah, so we'll have this in the back pocket, but no, I will be showing off other weapons as we go as well, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, darling. But our lady should be back here. Or maybe I have to quit load. That could be a thing. That could be a thing. That could be a thing. But Dusk should return here and give us some dialogue. Which, you know, we love that dialogue. Yeah, there it is. Hello, milady. How art thou? How art thou indeed? As I said, if you look, she does have human ears, but I think that was just a design thing because they couldn't be bothered making a whole model just for one person.
I am Dusk of Ulisil. It is an honor to see thee again. I shall follow thy wishes. My home of Ulisil was reduced to ashes long ago in my time. I have been alone ever since, but to be summoned thus, and to be of service to thee, it is most rewarding. Oh, forgive me. Such a long past time is none of thine concern.
Again, as I say, she never saw us in the past, so as far as she's concerned, that's just a fantasy of the past. Interesting that she says I've been alone ever since, but we know for a fact that after she was freed from Manus, that Ulisil did survive for a while, so she did have some time to live with Elizabeth and stuff like that. So, assumedly, now, obviously, when we summon her here, we summon her through time, but assumedly Dusk lives a long time, at least. That body over there most likely being Dusk. So she does eventually die, which is a bit harrowing. Don't look over there, madam, your dead body is right over there. But, she definitely lives a long time, anyway.
This may strike thine ear as somewhat peculiar, but long ago, in my homeland of Ulisil, I was beset by a creature from the abyss. I would have perished then, were it not for the great knight Artorius. In truth, I saw little of what transpired, for mine senses were already fled, but even still, there was something about Artorius, a certain balance of the humors that quite perfectly fits your semblance. Heavens, could it be that? Oh, dear me. That was Ulisil, many centuries ago.
Many
Please
centuries
excuse
ago.
my fanciful musings.
Because I know some people said, oh, it was only like 100 years ago. Many centuries is more than 100.
This may...
That's the same again.
Please.
You could say that
If thou
Artorius
art
had...
I wish to be of assistance. May the flames guide thee.
Always makes me laugh. You can hear that that's a different recording. Before the DLC was made, clearly. So, we obviously heard that from Elizabeth that Artorius had nary a murmur of dark. Meaning he probably didn't have as much humanity, maybe, as us. Because, again, he's from that time period. And as Dusk... not as Dusk says, as Elizabeth says and everything, Arsent is very human indeed. So, clearly, humanity has kind of moved on a lot. So Artorius didn't have maybe the humanity, or maybe his humanity was more susceptible to going wild, or whatever it was. He just didn't have the power to... I'm going to quit and load again. I think she has one more dialogue for us. He didn't have the capacity to survive the abyss. But I love that. You know, he still had the same vibe as us because he was a hero. So as she says, oh, he had the same balance of the humours as you. Oh, her. Oh, yeah, it does appear in different places. I was like, her. Summon stones in a slightly different place.
I am Dusk. It is an... I shall follow... Excuse me for such whimsical utterances. Only, it was so very odd. You and Artorius. I owe my life to each of you, and both seem to share some resonance of sorts. Perhaps it is the nature of true greatness.
Perhaps it is the nature of true greatness. I love that. So she really is kind of thinking, perhaps you are the same person. I'm gonna wipe two of them because I think we can make something. So,
if thou art in need, pray summon me again. I only wish to be of some genuine assistance. May the flames guide thee.
May the flames guide thee. Yeah, it's a very interesting kind of thing, and I love that they leave it kind of open like that, where it's like, oh, does Dusk kind of know, but maybe doesn't want to say, doesn't want to rock the boat type of thing, and doesn't want to, I suppose, doesn't want to allow herself to believe that because she's worried that, oh, silly me, that was Ulisil many centuries ago type of thing, you know. Who knows? Who knows? But as far as DLCs goes, I mean, look, it's not Shadow of the Erd Tree levels of humongous. But for the time and for... Oh, fucking hell, that damage. What the fuck? For the time and for the game that it is, for the Dark Souls 1 game, I think you couldn't have gotten a more perfect DLC. Now, the only thing I possibly would have changed is the Sanctuary Guardian fight. I think it's a good fight, but it's just when Artorias is such a pretty much perfect Dark Souls 1 fight, Manus is such a great fight, and Calamite is such a fucking top tier dragon fight. Like, still, some people still think it's one of the best dragon fights until we got Curse You Barrel! Solid as stone you may be. Sorry. You know, a lot of people still rank Calamite as one of the best dragon fights. You know, I think they knocked it out of the park. I think it's an amazing DLC. Forge I can, strong I am.
But you...
Yeah, you talk. I know talk, but listen. By the way, I was wrong about one of his dialogues. Remember I was saying he has something else to say to us. He already said it, and I didn't comment on it at the time. He says, one of the first times you talk to him, everyone gone. Me alone now, or something like that. He literally tells you, there's nobody else here. He knows they're all illusions, which I think is amazing. Manus Catalyst, here we are. Can I do it with the... Yeah, I'll do it with the Ulasil one so that we have a couple of those. Comet soon. What's interesting about this particular one is that it actually can double as a melee weapon, sort of. But now we have Manus's Catalyst. A sorcery catalyst born of the soul of Manus, Father of the Abyss. A rough, old wooden catalyst large enough to be used as a strike weapon. Similar to the tin crystallization catalyst, it boosts strength of sorceries but limits the number of casts, which we don't actually have the tin catalyst one yet, but we will get at some point. And as you can see, obviously you can cast, but you can also bunk with it. And I mean, it's not a bad 190 plus 146. You could actually do pretty good fucking damage with that. I mean, that's more physical than the Titanite Catchpole plus 5. You know, I know it has magic on it too, but still, it's only barely less than the fucking halberd here, Giant's halberd. Like, it's pretty fucking strong. I don't think you can upgrade it. I don't believe you can. If you can, that's quite funny. I don't believe you can. No, you can't. That would have been funny if you could, though. Comet soon. But yeah, and then obviously you can use it to cast magic. So, if you're looking for a strength magic build, here's your weapon. This is exactly your weapon. I mean, you got to kill probably the hardest boss in the game to get it, but hey, it's good for the rest of the game because we still got a good bit to go. And New Game Plus. You know, but yeah, I know, obviously, look, we only technically had one fight in this episode, and it was a long episode of a lot of dialogue and stuff, but it's a really, really, really interesting story that I wanted to tell and needed to be told. And we did it. We did it in style. We got our redemption for El Artorias. He got to fight Manus. Kind of got his... I mean, to be honest, it worked because he got his ass handed to him, but that's what happened. Anyway, he got his ass handed to him. So, at least this time, he managed to survive. He leveled up that fucking bitch vigor and that fucking bitch endurance. And bitched his way through to victory. Keeping in mind, we could have made that even easier because none of these... Like, I could make this game even easier than what we're doing now. Because I could go and upgrade all of the armor pieces and I could upgrade things, you know. Yeah, you know, there is so much we could do to level ourselves up even fucking further, but we don't need to at this stage. As I said, leveling up, that is so fucking funny. 421 damage. Now, obviously, you probably won't... Can you do a jump attack? You can't do a jump attack. Okay. You don't need to. You also, I believe, can't do a backstab. Yeah, you can't backstab or anything. But, I mean, you don't need to. You can do pretty fucking strong damage with it. So, yeah. So, next episode, we shall continue our tale towards the ending of the game.
I didn't expect...
Yeah. I just wanted to see. He doesn't... I don't believe he sells anything new. One thing I did want to note, and somebody pointed this out to me, and I found it very interesting. If you read all of this guy's info, some people believe he's a trickster. Now, this is a lot of conjecture, but I do find this very interesting. I wanted to point it out. So, the inlaid silver rings symbolize an explorer. The gold bracers symbolize a vanquisher. The many medals are believed to symbolize glory. The 2 horns are believed to symbolize wisdom. So, these 2, he is definitely a vanquisher, and he is definitely an explorer. But we don't know if he has anything to do with glory, and we don't know if he actually has anything to do with wisdom. Some people think with the horns and stuff on his head, he represents a kind of a trickstery guy. He seems to have a lot of kind of items from places that he probably shouldn't have. Does he go around picking corpses like our dear friend Patches? Possibly. Speaking of, actually, I know we have we've got 5 minutes left. I actually can't remember. I got so caught up getting excited for the DLC and everything. Have we spoken to Patches yet? He should be here. If not, here he is.
Oh, we meet again. How many of you are there? You've come at the perfect time. I'm done with the looting. I'm a humble merchant now, and wondrous treasures have I, at a special price for you. There you are. Have a nice look at them. Oh, relax. No more funny business out of me, my friend.
It's quite funny because this actually works pretty well, because now we can it kind of brings us back to the whatchamacallit, the main game. As you can see, he has a mace and a crescent axe from Vincent Nico, most likely, which is kind of sad. But yeah, and also some talismans as well. We actually haven't read this one, have we? Has high miracles. Yeah, it doesn't really say anything important to me. And he sells all of the masks. So he has the Mask of the Father as well, so we can giant data up if we want. This mask belongs to the Valiant Father, slightly raises equipment load. And then he has the Cleric set. Helmwarmer, the warrior clerics of the Way of White, who are famous for being unyielding in battle. It is rather substantial in size and weight, making its wearer look even bigger than it actually is. But yeah, so good old Patches is here to talk shite, give us prostration, and ease us back into the main game out of the DLC.
Have you met that backwoods Shiva? Believe me on this one, bruv. The man is trouble. I can see it in his eyes. I just can.
Funny thing is,
no doubt about it. Watch him.
I mean, obviously with the whole quest line with the magic sword that was supposed to happen, he's technically correct.
Yeah. Have you met that sunbathing Solaire? Believe me on this one, bruv. He's a complete idiot.
Him calling everyone bruv was quite funny.
He happens to be an awfully strong idiot. So just nod your head and keep him on your side.
And technically any character he tells you
Have you
about.
met Petrus? That self-proclaimed cleric? Believe me on this one, bruv. The man is scum. Don't you be fooled by his claims to do good. They're all the same, those rotten clerics.
Now we know he doesn't like clerics anyway, but he's
Boy, have
technically...
you met Lautrec the Embraced?
Here we are about Lautrec.
Believe
me on this one, bruv.
He wouldn't think twice about cutting somebody down, so watch out.
He's
for
spot
him.
on. As much of a prick as Patches is, I'm a humble merchant now.
I'm done with the looting.
He is spot on about every character he tells you about.
Don't you forget who got it for you.
So yeah, good old Patches. I mean, did he try and kick us down a hole? Yeah, well, he didn't try. He did kick us down a hole. But he's got some good info. And he's spot on. So thank you all so much for joining me on this incredible journey of the DLC.
Miracles?
Miracles, I presume?
Come
yeah, you haven't done the dirty deed just yet. You will soon, though, I'm sure. Yeah, but lots more fun to come. So like I said, thank you all so much for joining me. You've been absolutely fantastically amazing. If you like what you've seen, please do like and subscribe. We shall continue our journey into in-depth Dark Souls. There'll be more actual content tomorrow in terms of combat and exploration and fighting and all that good stuff, I promise. Very lore-heavy episode today, but I told you that was going to happen, didn't I? I told you it would happen. For now, though, thank you all so much. I've been Kavalech. Hope you grabbed yourself a daily chat. I will see you all tomorrow. Oh, I could just play this game forever. It's so fucking amazing. But yeah, the best is still to come though, because we got some fucking good fights coming, some good areas, some really good fucking lore, and some fun stuff, and probably me raging at falling down holes, and God knows what else as well. So keep tuned for that. For now, though, I'll see you very soon. Look after yourselves, have a great day, and stay safe. Just be awesome. Go play an awesome video game and treat yourself to something nice. Bye.